Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Forgotten City. This is probably just going to be like an epilogue of sorts. We finished the game. I think we're just going to basically talk to all the people that we rescued, and then we see what happens from there. But we'll see how long this is. But it is worth doing. All right, let's go, Galerius.
Back again. What's up?
I did talk to... Did I talk to him?
Of course.
Might have talked to him at the end. Equitia.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me...
Finally? Good to see you too, Equitia.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work.
Well, you were a priestess.
Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined.
Fair.
I'm just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
How's Livia?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere. If you'd like to ask her yourself.
I probably will. I'll do that. It was good to see you again,
See
Equitia.
you at the wedding, I hope.
This is nice. This is a good ending. It makes no sense, but this is a like ending that's nice and wrapped up. Hi, Dooley.
Hello, I'm Dooley.
I remember who you are, Dooley.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't know.
There he is.
Now, what are you doing with yourself these days?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
I'm sorry you never found your treasure.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories.
It's like a phone.
It's my favourite thing.
I'm glad you're happy. It's good to see you again, Dooley.
Bye-bye.
Who else
Hi
we got?
there.
Julia and Lucretia.
Hey.
Ah, Horatius. And Sentia. Okay. Julia. Wait, does that mean Sentius
You're the Oracle, right?
got out? The TheOzzieNerd is fine.
Oh, of course. Sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was.
That is true.
Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you
I
can
do.
travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable.
Well,
Sorry, you already know all that, of course.
not
I'm
much
just
more
so
comfortable.
Excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
Well, you'd be in a position to do it. Whatever happened to Malleolus and Claudia?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire,
Ha!
and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital.
Fair
As for
enough.
Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
Yeah, Schadenfreude. I think you're allowed to feel that way.
Thank you. You're very kind.
What happened to Aurelia?
Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince.
Oh, so I'm not even going to get to meet, like, all of the people I saved, not even the dicks. That's a shame.
Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people...
I was waiting for it. It had to be some sort of joke. Don't worry, something tells me she's going to get what she deserves, yeah.
Well, you are the Oracle, so I suppose I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, good old Nigerian prince
I feel
scam.
better already.
Actually, that is a point. Like, they would be completely,
You too.
like,
If you're ever in
vulnerable
London,
to
let me know.
scams and just
We can
all
go
this
for
stuff they
glasses
just
of
don't
wine
understand.
and listen to the stories of the 9
There's no way they
million
would be
people
this
who live
this
there.
functional in this time. Like, ridiculous. I'll take you up on that.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, there's like a 0% chance this would be that way. Lucretia? You're not gonna be like a doctor now, are you?
Finally meet you.
Hey, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone.
Got that right.
Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So,
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm studying to get into medical school.
See, there we go. I knew she'd be like a doctor or something. That's so obvious.
I realized I missed it. So I guess
I love this game. This is a very cliche ending.
grudgingly.
Not there's anything wrong with that. Like, you can have a good cliche ending every now and again.
Don't be a stranger.
Just a good feel-good ending. Horatius. So you're in the current military. Ugh,
It's good to see you.
that would never work. Hi,
I
Horatius.
understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting Centilla with us as well.
Oh, is Centilla gonna be here?
So, thank you.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot. But some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca.
Sort of.
Still, I have to keep challenging
Sort
myself
of
to
still
let go of old ways of
studying.
thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
I'm sorry you never got to see your girl again.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus. As those
Jeez,
who
he must be
rode
very,
by
like,
triumphant generals remind
stunted
that
and
they are
janky in
mortal.
conversation with, like,
Remind
other
yourself
officers
the
and other
precious one
people from this
isn't
time.
one of your possessions. But
They must think he's, like,
something
really...
now.
Not smart, but just like, oh man, he quotes them a lot, where it's like, it's just how he grew up. I'm glad you're coping.
Thanks.
It's good to see you again, Horatius.
Farewell.
Oh god, what's Sentia doing? What are you doing? You were just like a...
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks
You were just like a noble. Good to see you again, Sentia.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple.
Oh.
She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
What are you doing yourself these days?
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever.
So
and
you haven't
do
changed a
whatever I
bit.
please. Of course,
Like,
I
at
mostly
all.
just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me because it's just
Excellent.
awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
What happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time.
I mean, he probably deserves
Eternal
it, but
torment. Just what he
still sounds a
deserves
bit
if you ask
harsh.
me.
Seems a bit excessive, don't you think?
I try not to think about him at all.
Fair enough. It's good to see you again, Cynthia.
You too. See you around.
So who else we got? Who's that? Oh, the Hermit Philosopher. Georgius. I was gonna say, you'll be some businessman.
You must be the legendary oracle.
It is a sincere privilege.
Are we just not questioning how they all seemingly know English now, or are we just talking in Latin again, and they just communicate in Latin? It's good to see you too, Georges.
I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once
Greece has definitely changed a lot over 2,000 years, more than a lot of places.
Once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you
Nice.
will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
You know, I just debated him to death, basically. Consider me there. It's good to see you again,
You
Georges.
too, my friend.
And then Fabio.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
Hi,
I
Fabio.
wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
You're welcome.
I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Karen gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means
Okay.
baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
Nice. That sounds like a life well spent.
Oh, it really is.
It's good to see you again,
You
Fabio.
too.
So why did Charon give them all tons of money? Also, it would have had to be like
Some soiree, innit?
a real ton of money, not like
Magnificent
not just a lot of money,
museum.
like a lot of money. A herm philosopher.
I take it you're the oracle everybody's talking about. It's a pleasure to finally...
It is weird, like meeting all these people, and they're like, "Oh, you must be the person that I've heard about and never met." And I'm just like, "Yeah, we've met before, though. I wouldn't expect you to remember it."
We have. I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip.
Philip
I
the
never thought I'd
philosopher.
leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
What are you doing yourself these days?
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the
Yep.
odd gap in their knowledge.
Like, basically all these people would be amazing at, like, a history degree.
I do love
I guess if they paid attention to what was going on around them. It's good to see you again.
Sincere thanks once again.
Oh god, this is just going to be a big walk down the bloody thing. Decius?
Oh, hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Dacius.
Hi, Decius.
I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
Okay, no need to thank me, it was entirely unintended.
Such a acerbic wit. I love it.
What are you doing with yourself these
I
days?
took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now.
Yep.
In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
Can't really see the future, I'm afraid.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
DVD rentals have a bright future,
Oh,
yeah.
of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh, I got an achievement for lying. Lovely.
I'm gonna make a bloody fortune.
Excellent, I'll be going now.
Don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
Nice. How would you even invest in, like, DVD rentals?
Good evening.
Octavia?
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much
Which one was
about you.
Octavia? Nice to see you too,
I'm
Octavia.
thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last
Yeah, which one
patron
was
god had more
Octavia?
important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving.
Do you not
our
remember her?
lives.
There's probably some massive gap in
What
my
you did
memory.
was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After
Well,
you sent
that's good.
Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just
Oh,
want to
she was the
spend
one up at the
rest of my life
temple.
helping people.
Man, I
Like
never
you
talked
helped
about
me.
her for anything. Sounds like a noble cause. Good on you.
Thank you. That
Yeah,
means
like,
a lot.
you talk to her for that, and then you kind of never do again. Weird. It was good to see you again, Octavia.
And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
Sounds good, I'm in.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
Like, why not? Livia. Oh, you're the old
Greetings.
crazy one. Oh, it's good to see you looking well, Livia.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place.
God, she sounds so normal
much
when she's
like
not
Elysium.
raving and being crazy. What are you doing yourself these days?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. At least
Okay,
until
so
I'm
she
well enough
she's not
to
just
be
like
independent
magically better again. Read any good poems lately?
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm
Nice.
already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit.
Yeah,
Men
I
have
can see
called
that.
me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Perhaps you're right. It was good to see you again, Livia.
And you. Farewell, friend.
Who else we got? Akabash! God, like, you're still wearing
To finally meet you, Oracle.
some oldish clothes, like real patchwork jacket. Thanks, Kabash.
You know my name.
I'm an oracle, aren't I? Yeah.
You are an oracle.
I was gonna say, you did say it.
I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place, and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wonderful.
Have you seen New Egypt? What are you doing yourself these days?
For a time, I returned to Alexandria.
Yeah.
But they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures.
Cool.
I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
Good luck.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again,
Thank
Kabash.
you, Oracle.
Alright, who's next? No one here. There's Scintilla, Rufius, and Virgil. Oh, they're wearing like matching clothes. They're definitely together, aren't they? Oop.
Hello there.
Oh, hi, Scintilla.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time
Fair
I heard
enough.
my name. After
Probably
I
for the
drove
best.
Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
Sorry, I had no idea.
Don't worry, nobody did.
What are you doing yourself these days?
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than
I appreciate that
thought.
they're all like
I'm
basically
so
still in
grateful to
Europe
you for making
and
sure he's
around
still with
Italy.
us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You
Sure.
can try some of our very own wine.
Ooh, I might just do that. It's good to see you again, Gabriella.
You too.
Ulpius?
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius.
You have really weird eyes. They're just a little bit uncanny. They're like too wide or something. It's good to see you too,
I
Ulpius.
understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way
That
you
is
just
true.
showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt.
What are you doing yourself these days?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her And this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope? And missed out on all of this. So
Yeah.
we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way. Sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now.
Almost drinkable.
Sunset.
Ah, such
With the rain
flattery.
outside. And I couldn't be happier.
I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
It's good to see you,
You too.
Orpheus. You too, Rufus.
Nice to meet you.
And good to see you too, Rufus.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh,
Still have the rheumatism.
thanks
Feel like
for
that's
what you did. Sorry, I
slightly more
no
treatable in
good
modern
with
times.
The mushy stuff.
What are you doing with Self these days?
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself.
Nice, yeah, so living with Virgil. It's
Haven't
clearly,
decided what I'm going to do with my
clearly
life
they were
yet.
going to be together.
One adjustment at a time.
It's good to see you again,
You
Rufus.
too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands.
I'm shocked that like they went to the Netherlands. So it was Virgil from.
Grateful.
So Virgil's from like the top of France or something? Like Belgium, the Netherlands?
It's
Would
so
not have picked
nice
that.
to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Although, I can kind of hear it. That's good to see you,
I
Virgil.
wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
What are you doing with Self these days?
I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Just
Okay,
outside
no,
of
he's
Rotterdam,
definitely
where
French. Fair
I
enough.
grew up. Of course, it's improved
Not
immensely
French, he'd be
since I was there.
Flemish, I suppose.
Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
That's fair. It's good to see you
You
again,
too.
Virgil.
As Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
I may just take you up on that. Alright, and I take it now we go and talk to... Who? Who's left? That's not gonna be, it's not gonna be Hades, is it?
There you are.
Ah,
I hope you
Alworth,
enjoyed
of
that.
course.
Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Karen? Oh, Proserpina.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long,
Hmm.
long time.
I recognize that voice.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
Yeah, actually, okay, I'm a bit more into this now. You were whispering to me all along.
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You did what you could. Thank you. You created the time loop.
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal.
Wow,
After
that
witnessing
sounds
Pluto
like a
punish
not
countless
terrible
poor
deal.
souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to create a portal in my shrine. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly to help others.
No, didn't quite work that
What I
way.
anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier, he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting.
But like, how does that work though? Because he still dies every day though.
I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but
Hmm.
wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We all
Fair.
fortunately.
I mean, there's some plot points that are a bit yeah, but overall it's pretty good. What became of
I don't know
Pluto?
what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
What became of Charon?
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again.
Oh, I kind of wanted to run into Charon, to be honest. That would have been a good ending. It was nice meeting you.
And you, although it feels like I've known you forever.
Funny.
And one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
That's not them in the lobby, is it? Of course.
Because they remember you. Well done.
Ah, it is them in the
Of all
lobby.
the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came
Cool.
close.
That's kind of fun.
Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
That's it. I just got an achievement for the canon ending. Ending 4 of 4. We went all the way. So you have like 1, 2, and 3. Well, now you get the other endings. I guess you can escape with Scintilla. Feels like you can just do that. I guess Sentius does point out you could kill him. So that makes sense. So there's... I assume killing Sentius is like number 1. 3 would have to be escaping with Scintilla. So that's number 2 then. What else can you do to get out? I don't know. Maybe I'll play back through it and fiddle around a bit. But anyway, guys, that's the end of The Forgotten City. Man, it's really good. It's so good. And actually, I didn't point this out, or I think I did at one point, but this is an Australian game, so this game was partially funded by like Film Victoria. Victoria's like a state in Australia, so they funded this, and it is adapted from the Skyrim mod, but there's still been a hell of a lot of work put into this, and it is similar to the Skyrim mod, but not. There's some very, very noticeable differences, but definitely some of the things are very similar, and a lot of the twists were kind of spoiled for me a little bit. But overall, this is really good, like really good, and I guess like, tell your friends. Try not to spoil it. You know, it is best enjoyed the whole way through from the start without knowing anything about it. Like, playing it now for you guys that have watched it to the end does sort of spoil it a bit. But like, tell your friends, get them to play it, see what they think. If you want to jump in, maybe you can find the other endings. Maybe you can get the other endings. Get the one that I can't figure out off the top of my head. And yeah, no, like, buy this game, play this game. The developer of this, pretty sure is a developer of the original Skyrim mod as well, obviously. Like, play this game. Support him, because he is just writing some really good stories. Like, introducing all the mythology stuff into this one, which was not in the Skyrim mod, was a really good choice. Makes it a little bit more grounded. It's a good way to split it off from Skyrim very, very distinctly. Like, it's a good way to really break that connection so that you're not dealing with just quote-unquote ancient civilization being in charge of it. Like, it's specifically like, oh, the gods who are real and aliens and stuff. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for this one, so I'm going to leave this episode and this game here. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more content from me, the Aussie Nerd, feel free to subscribe to my channel and check out the other videos on there. If you think you know any friends might enjoy my content, make sure you share a video too with them. Really appreciate it. And finally, if you want to leave any hints, tips, tricks about any of my games, you just want to say hi, make sure you do so in the comments section of the other videos. For this one, if you want to give your thoughts about this game, if you want to give your thoughts about the story, what you liked or what you didn't like, let me know. Always love hearing from you guys, but I will see everyone in the next video. Goodbye.